do every up-and-coming superstar when they want to make a name for that superstar to have for the next number of years, like they did with Daniel Bryan. But I just don't see it happening now because the popularity of Roman Reigns just isn't there. Yes, he gets overwhelming crowd responses every time he's on Raw, SmackDown, or a house show. It's amazing the crowd response that Roman Reigns gets every time he comes through the crowd with his authentic entrance, his Shield ring attire, his just approach is very dominant and very aggressive. A lot of fans seem to like that about Roman Reigns, but not enough fans seem to like that about Roman Reigns. And preferably, I'd rather see Brock Lesnar versus The Rock or Brock Lesnar versus Batista any day over seeing Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I'm really disappointed with what they're doing with Roman Reigns' character because I had high hopes for Roman Reigns like a lot of you, and I gave up on those hopes recently because it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing anything with Roman Reigns' character. Putting him over in a few matches with Randy Orton, it's a great way to put him out there and make him a bigger star than what he is, but not as big of a star as what he could potentially be if he were to face someone like Brock Lesnar. I just don't see it happening now, and with everything going on with the possible return of Daniel Bryan sooner than what we think, John Cena obviously going to be given a rematch when he loses again, probably one more match with Brock Lesnar tops, and that will be as early as Hell in a Cell when the feud will end, probably inside the confines of Hell in a Cell, with one more John Cena-Brock Lesnar match based off the outcome of the match they have at Night of Champions. I just don't see Roman Reigns being given an opportunity. If anything, Roman Reigns will be given an opportunity at the Intercontinental or United States Championship now, because really it doesn't seem to be the time for Roman Reigns like I had originally thought it was going to be. And the Fatal 4-Way match at Battleground really fucked us up because we really thought at Battleground Roman Reigns was going to make an impression. He was going to leave an impression in the minds of a lot of wrestling fans, walk out of the Fatal 4-Way as champion and get one over on Kane, Randy Orton, and the then champion John Cena, ending his 15th reign as champion then, and having John Cena going on a crusade to become the 16-time champion, which is obviously the direction this is headed in with Brock Lesnar. This is the obvious reason why John Cena dropped the championship when he did, because he's on this crusade now, getting out of this cloud of depression that's been lifted over his head. He's trying to find a way to lift and get out of that cloud of depression and become the 16-time champion. I really don't have anything to say about that because it's just a pathetic way of putting over John Cena, and really, in my opinion, he doesn't deserve to be a 16-time champion. Someone like a Roman Reigns or a Randy Orton deserves that honor of being a 16-time champion more than what a John Cena does, even though John Cena has done more for the professional wrestling business outside of it than what a Randy Orton or a Roman Reigns has. I think one of those two superstars deserve to be a 16-time champion more than what John Cena does, because to me, Randy Orton has the look of a 16-time champion, and that's probably why they're putting over Roman Reigns in matches with Randy Orton, because Randy Orton has the look of a 16-time champion. To me, John Cena really doesn't, and that's the obvious direction they're headed in with John Cena's character. For Roman Reigns right now, it seems as if they're going to continue to put him on the back burner, and that's going to upset a lot of Roman Reigns fans out there, because a lot of people are getting on this Roman Reigns fan wagon that it's being described as. A lot of people are starting to believe in Roman Reigns like they believed in the Shield when Roman Reigns was considered the front man of the Shield. When they were going to put the title on Roman Reigns should have been when they severed the Shield. When Seth Rollins turned his back on Shield members Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, they should have went all out with Roman Reigns then. That is when Roman Reigns should have been the breakout star. That is when Roman Reigns should have been given the opportunity to go one-on-one with whoever the champion was, regardless if it would have been Seth Rollins, regardless if it would have been someone like John Cena. That's when they should have done something with Roman Reigns. Month after month, we're just seeing Roman Reigns being put on the back burner because they want to have this Brock Lesnar, John Cena feud at the forefront of the WWE. I really don't agree with that because we've seen John Cena versus Brock Lesnar enough. We have seen John Cena versus Brock Lesnar over the last decade at least 3 or 4 times. This is going to be like their third match in the series, third or fourth match they've had over the last decade. We could possibly see up to 5 matches between these two, with the predicted end being inside of Hell in a Cell as early as October, which is coming up. I really don't want to see any more John Cena Brock Lesnar matches because it's been over and done with and it's old news. I want to see a feeling of novelty thrown our way in WWE. I want to give us something new to talk about on radio. I wanted them to give us something new to write about in columns, and it doesn't seem like we're going to get to that point anytime soon. We're not going to get to a point of novelty in the WWE as I describe it as being. I want to talk about something else on this radio show. I want to talk about something else for our written column, and the reason why I talk about entertainment as much as what I do here recently on the show week to week, everything going on with celebrities and things, is because the same thing is happening in WWE. You give WWE a period of 6 to 8 months months. And 6 to 8 months from now, they'll just go back to the same storyline that we saw 6 months prior to that point in professional wrestling in the storylines. And it's really disrespectful to wrestling fans who want to see something new, because fans tune in every week on WWE television to see something new. The way I like to describe professional wrestling is you can go 6 months, and I've done it. You can go 6 months without watching professional wrestling, and 6 months after you watch it for the first time, one episode of Raw or SmackDown, one episode of WWE in general or TNA, and you'll get caught up on everything happening within the company if you watch the entire episode from the start of the show right up to the climax. If you watch it from the start to the finish, one episode is all you have to watch to get caught up on everything happening in professional wrestling. And this just goes to show just how lack of creativeness we're seeing in WWE. Truly, in my opinion, WWE has lost its creative side, its creative edge with sports entertainment. With all the characters that they have in WWE, yes, they have a lot of potential, but some of the gimmicks that some of these characters have are absolutely ridiculous. They took Bo Dallas, for instance, one of the biggest up-and-coming names that you had as part of NXT, the former NXT champion, and they ruined his character. They've given him some kind of homophobic character where he comes out and does this absolutely gay, pardon my language, absolutely gay kind of character that we see on WWE television every week, trying to inspire wrestlers like Jack Swagger. That is going absolutely nowhere. If anything, Bo Dallas should have came on Raw and SmackDown like he originally came on Raw and SmackDown when he was feuding with Wade Barrett, and he was always getting the better of Wade Barrett. Bo Dallas should have showed up on Raw or SmackDown as an inspiring young talent who was trying to make a name for himself, shedding that homophobic/gay character, because it's absolutely ridiculous what they're doing with him. Adam Rose kind of has a more entertaining character. When you talk about somebody like Adam Rose is more of an entertaining kind of character. He's there to entertain you. But if you were to get rid of the All Night Express or whatever the hell that thing is called, if he was to drop the bunny and all the managers that he has come out to ringside with him, I think Adam Rose would be a more entertaining guy than what he is, and probably be Intercontinental Champion by now. But he really has to get rid of all the accompaniment he has at ringside. There are so many other wrestlers that I could talk about to put into the same category, but right now what they're doing with people like Bo Dallas and Adam Rose is absolutely ridiculous, because there's so much that can be done with characters that at one time you thought had so much potential, either wrestlers or divas. They all have so much potential. It's just WWE, in my opinion, going back to what I originally said or originally believed, WWE really has lost its creative edge, its creative side, and there really doesn't seem to be any way they can rebound off of that. The only way they can rebound off of that is if they put the title on someone like Roman Reigns, which they should have done with the injury of Daniel Bryan, or with John Cena and Brock Lesnar, everything going on with that. They should have put him in the ring with Brock Lesnar, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing that anytime soon. Either John Cena or Brock Lesnar, so they should have put in the ring with Roman Reigns, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening anytime soon. We're not going to wake up tomorrow or the day after or the week after or the month after or the year after and see Roman Reigns on top. The only way Roman Reigns will go on top now in WWE is if he wins the 2015 Royal Rumble and goes to WrestleMania 31, which he could possibly do. And if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't win the 2015 Royal Rumble, the 30-man over the top rope single elimination Royal Rumble, with one opportunity for the winner to go to WrestleMania to be in the main event against the champion, whoever it will be by the time we get to WrestleMania 31, possibly Daniel Bryan, that's really the only way that Roman Reigns will get on top. Win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania 31, which I don't see happening for Roman Reigns, because it doesn't seem to be in the minds of creative. Because if it was in the minds of creative, what is this now? September. So by October or November, which is next month, we would know if Roman Reigns was going to win the Royal Rumble. Usually by October or November, which is next month, we have a pretty good idea of who are candidates to win the Royal Rumble. They usually throw 3 to 4 candidates our way to find out who's going to win the Royal Rumble, to kind of tease us. So we would probably know as early as next month if Reigns was going to win the Royal Rumble. And I don't see Roman Reigns asserting himself that way. If he was going to win the Royal Rumble, he would have won it this year when he came down to him and Dave Bautista, which I found really interesting. You had Roman Reigns and Dave Bautista, two of the biggest names. You had one new talent, fitness superstar, and you had a legend in professional wrestling, if not a legend, a future legend, in professional wrestling, colliding with a new talent and superstar. And the exchange between the two of them was amazing, with Batista finally getting the better of Roman Reigns. And what the fuck happened there? Dave Batista was supposed to go to WrestleMania and challenge for the title. He did, but he was supposed to go to WrestleMania and face either Randy Orton or Brock Lesnar. And then they changed it up from that to having Dave Batista face Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan in an effort to put over Daniel Bryan. And that ultimately left Dave Batista in a state of being really upset with WWE. Triple H is the COO, and he walks out, and we haven't seen Dave Batista since. I think he has a role in this Guardians of the Galaxy movie from Marvel that's been really over-advertised in entertainment. Congratulations to Dave Batista for going back to Hollywood and actually having success outside of professional wrestling, where he's having the majority of his success, in my opinion, on Dave Batista is he's having greater success outside of professional wrestling in movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, no matter how small his role is in the movie. He's getting a lot of publicity from that, and probably more publicity than what he'd have right now if he were champion in WWE. So maybe they're going to put off Dave Batista's return to a later date in professional wrestling, which, with all the success that he's had with MMA and different movies that he's been in entertainment. So obviously that's why we're seeing Brock Lesnar versus John Cena all the time, because originally it was probably slated on writing that it was going to be Dave Batista versus Brock Lesnar. That was probably etched in stone for WrestleMania 30 this year. With all the fuck-ups we have seen with Roman Reigns, with Daniel Bryan, with Dave Batista not being pleased and going back to Hollywood after coming back seemingly just to win the Royal Rumble and reform Evolution. Obviously, this is why we're seeing everything going on in professional wrestling right now, and with so much going on, this is why Roman Reigns hasn't had anything done with his character. The thing about Roman Reigns is really impressive, and I'm not criticizing Roman Reigns for what he does when he's in matches. I mean, the match he had recently with Seth Rollins was a really good match, and it really put into perspective for me, and it should have put into perspective for a lot of wrestling fans just how good Roman Reigns is. That's what it did for me. The match he had with Seth Rollins was actually good enough to be the main event of Monday Night Raw. Yes, the Rallying of America by Mark Henry and his feud with Alexander Rusev and Lana was the final segment on Raw because of the magnitude and the emotion behind it, and because of everything going on with Russia and the United States, which is going to get WWE in a jeopardizable position, in my opinion, in the coming weeks. On this radio show, I'll be very open-mindedly opinionated about what's going on with Mark Henry and Alexander Rusev and Lana, because I don't agree with a lot of things said in some of the promos and stuff. I'll be dropping a video blog in the coming weeks, probably in the next 1 or 2 weeks, on this radio show on how I feel about the feud between the United States and Russia and the WWE. It's one thing to be publicized so much on CNN, but do we have to go as far as to publicize Russia versus the United States in a long-term feud in WWE? I mean, how desperate can you be, going back to how I believe WWE have lost its creative edge? I mean, when you have to take an actual real-life angle between the United States and Russia that's been over-publicized on CNN and drag it in to an entertainment storyline for entertainment purposes, that should show how desperate you are.